Hello, everyone. What driving for rideshare teaches you about some people? Um, if this is your first time listening to me, I was a former rideshare driver. I did over 1,500 rides, had a lot of different experiences. Enough of them were positive, some were unfortunate, but overall, they were all excellent. Through my experiences, what it taught me about some people, that some people have more hurdles to jump over than others. Therefore, being optimistic is always a positive thing, especially when you tie it into being realistic. There were a good deal of individuals that I picked up from work. Name a day of the week: Monday, Wednesday, name a time of the day. Think of a time of the day. 7 a.m., 1:30 p.m., 4:45 p.m. It didn't matter. What did matter, though, was their body language when a client hopped into the back seat of my vehicle. Just how they sounded. I knew they were ready to leave their job. And it wasn't just because they necessarily hated the job. In most cases, it was because of their colleagues. It was because of the crazy hours that they were working. There were some clients that hopped in the car. They requested to be off certain days. The days were granted. Then at the last minute, they said, "Oh, you got to come into work." So there were those sectors of folks. And then there were folks that didn't like their colleagues because their colleagues was always gossiping, was always in their business. How do I know? I know from all of the rides I had. And specifically, I had a client that hopped into my vehicle. She worked at this restaurant. And what did she proceed to tell me when she got in and put a seatbelt on? She said, "Hey, I believe I'm going to be looking for a new job." And you know me, inquisitive, I was like, "Wow, that's unfortunate. Why are you looking for a new job?" And she goes on to say that, and I quote, "It's like high school. All the women there, they just gossip." Now, I couldn't relate to that. Couldn't relate at all for so many reasons. But I try to play the other side of the coin. I suggested that she can just ignore them. And she said that she did. Specifically, it was 45 days of ignoring them. And I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." The client proceeded to tell me how that led to her having mental health issues, and also led to her finding another corporation to work for. So basically, they drove her close to the edge, not to where she committed a crime, but she just quit. Yes, she did. She definitely quit. Doing rideshare also taught me that some people, they're in relationships that they do not want to be in. It's just true. I've had some guys get in my car. Now, this is the thing with the fellas when they hopped into my car, most of them, they weren't really in no relationships. They didn't want to get into no relationships. They just wanted to, as Michelle and Tupac said back in the day, they just wanted to run the streets, but they were transparent. They had kids that were on child support. So they were just fatigued from the whole system, the baby mama drama. It's like, wow. As they would tell me their stories, all I could do was listen. And they asked me, some of them asked, "You know what I mean?" I was like, "No, I don't know what you mean because I don't have any children." And then there were other, "Man, you got it good. You got it good." I just smiled and said, "I know. Allegedly, I know." But nah, all jokes aside, I definitely know that I'm very fortunate. Just made some good choices. Or the Most High was looking out for me when I was not making good choices. Moving on. Then the women, had some women hop in my car and they would just talk cash noise about their guy that they were air quotes in a relationship with, and they were venting to me as if I was Dr. Phil. But me being a rideshare driver, just serving the people, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm just listening and learning. Some things I already knew, so I was listening, and just things were being reiterated to me. And I would think as I was driving, like, well, why are you with the guy? And they gave the normal spiel. Well, I'm old, we got kids. And I was like, okay. Because again, I don't have a family. I didn't then and I don't now. So I'm like, I can't give no response to that. Because I can't speak on nothing that I haven't personally experienced. That's crazy. I mean, the most I could do is give hypotheses, but who wants to educate a guess? I know, right? And then I also learned that some folks are in relationships and they lying to their mate about being at work when they not at work. I mean, she hopped in the car. This was a client. Picked her up downtown Dallas. She hopped in the back seat, sat on the passenger side, was just yakking with a homegirl. She was giving specific detail, and this is the thing. This started before she got in the vehicle because when I pulled up to the building in the city, my windows were down. So when the windows down, I can hear everything. I can hear what people are saying. And she was just, you would have thought that she had just got a promotion. She was telling her girl, how she was supposed to be off work. Um, and she was off work, but she told her husband, significant other, that she was attending to some business. But she was the business getting attended to on the roof. And ladies, let me know. I know they speak of the sisterhood, and the sisterhood isn't a race thing. But the thing is, this client was talking to her girlfriend and asking her girlfriend to be an alibi for her because she wasn't going to get home till about 10 o'clock. How do I know? Because I was the one driving her. It was just breathtaking. Like, all of this could have been avoided, in my opinion, with a conversation. At least she could have told him beforehand what she was doing. That way, it wouldn't be cheating. I know it seems very, very wrong. But is transparency ever wrong? That's for you all. Let me know in the comments. Is transparency ever wrong? Um, I also learned with some folks from doing rideshare that they tired of their kids. I mean, they are kid fatigue. I know some people say F those kids. I ain't gonna go that far. I'll just say may need a break from the kids. But clients would get in a car and they would say, these kids today, they don't listen. They cost so much money. And I was like, some of that I could rock with because when I was a kid, I didn't always listen. I got my tail beat, got put on punishment. You know, I got, and so I get that. Costing much, I get that too. Because my folks done, you know, told me that we cost. But it wasn't like out of complaining. We were just like a constant bill that never stopped. But my parents, as some other parents out there, they kind of knew this going in before having kids. So Plus, they was married, so it was really no big deal. But these clients that will hop in my car, some of them will be single fathers, some of them will be single mothers. But this is the thing: most of the single fathers that hopped in my car, they really wasn't complaining about their children. They were just expressing how being a single father is challenging but fun, and they really didn't have any issue with discipline. On the contrary, some of the women that were single mothers, they were just complaining about being fatigued, being tired. Some of the women, unfortunately, were in the car saying that, forgive the language, men ain't shit. Now, mind you, I'm a man, and I know that that didn't have anything to do with me, so I wasn't taking anything personal. In fact, I just kept driving to get the client where they needed to be. Though I wanted to say it, but I did not say it because, as we know, with the rideshare apps, the customer is always right. But I was thinking this thought. I was like, hmm, you choose to lay down and mate with this person and have a kid. So, mirror, mirror on the wall, we all know the rest. She should have looked in the mirror. But no judgments on none of the people that got in my back seat. It was a client. It was all fun. It was all love. But those are the things I learned. Basically, I learned that life happens for everyone. Life don't take no breaks, and every day you gotta have the energy to get up and swing. So any days I was feeling down, like I didn't want to be consistent and be disciplined and put in the work, I will hop behind that wheel, get a client in my car, and my client would just expand my worldview, expand my thoughts. Things that I thought I was thinking about, I was somewhat thinking about it, but it went from like 15% to 35% of my thinking. And at the end, I was just grateful and appreciative. And though I no longer do rideshare, I would advocate for anyone to do it, because it teaches you a lot about yourself as well as other people. So yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Those that have done rideshare, you all can tell me in the comments. Those that have not done rideshare, you all can tell me in the comments. And those that just have an opinion, you all can tell me in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Also, click the link below. Go to Amazon and get my book. It'll help you. And if it don't help you, it'll help a friend. And if it don't help a friend, you could tell an enemy. And it will help an enemy to the point where you all could become associates or even become good friends. All right. You all continue to have a good day, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.